Hi guys, it's me Keith. Welcome to Keba Tech Training and Webinars. This time we are going to deal with the preparation for the NC3 training. Okay, so it's like a visual graphic design training from which we are going to deal with 6 courses. We are going to deal with logo making, poster design, we have the so-called flyers design, we have the booth design, we have the box design, and of course the most complex or the latest one is the mobile app design. Okay, so since the mobile app design is the most complex amongst all 6 or 7 core competencies, I will be giving you tips and tricks on how we're going to make the designing of the mobile app easy and fast. Okay, so let's start right away. What we will be using is Balsamiq Mockup. A Balsamiq Mockup is like a mockup application from which it enables the designer to create a draft, okay, a draft drawing on a particular design that they wish to conceptualize. So it will be faster compared to doing it right away in Photoshop, since in Photoshop it will be complex, you don't have any idea yet on what you will be designing. For this one, I will also be teaching you guys that the trick on what are the 6 essential screens that you will be doing during the training proper of the mobile app design. Okay, so let's start. So this is the Balsamiq Mockup window. Okay, so as you can see in here, it's like in all Microsoft Windows applications and programs, we are seeing a lot of icons in here, but as we go on with the training proper, I will be showing you what are the things that these icons can do. Okay, so there are a lot of icons in here. So this is just a designing or a mock-up application. So now, an overview. We have screens that we are going to deal with. The first screen is the splash screen, from which it contains the logo of the company. The next one is the login and registration screen. The next one, the third one, is the dashboard. The fourth is the car selector. The fifth is the services. Sixth is the scheduling and booking. And the seventh, okay, it's seventh, okay, it's confirm booking. And eighth is the payment module. Now you might be wondering why there is a car selector screen. It's because we are going to deal with the car services, okay, company. So let's start right away. So the first thing that we need to do is just to create a scenario of a phone. So it's like a simulation of a phone. So you're just going to type phone. That's how easy it is. Now all of these icons in here that we're searching can be seen in here. However, we want to make this one fast, so I'm just going to type it here on Quick Add. I'm going to use this one, the smartphone, basic Android phone. Now, if you want to view this one that will fit the screen, you can just zoom it out, click view, zoom to fit. There you go. So we are going to create a logo. Now a tip for you guys, if ever you are going to design a logo in Photoshop, you don't need to be complex, you don't need to be too creative, you don't need to be too fancy. It's because it will take you a lot of time, it will eat up your time, and you cannot design well because this is in a timed manner. So which means you're only going to design all of those designs in 6 hours, and that's too quick, or yeah, too quick for you guys to deal with lots of complexities in logo design. So for example, since we are going to deal with car services, you can just create a simple logo of a car. So I'm just going to create car, type car, this is the icon, or was it there, drag it over here, just going to resize it. Now if you want to change the property of a particular icon, you can just drag it over here on the properties panel. Now since we already have the car, you can change it from the properties panel. There you go, place it over here in the center. I'm going to insert a name for this one, so since we are going to deal with text, simply just type text in here. That's how easy this application is. Now again, this is just a mock-up application. Okay, double click, then type, let's say the name of this car services company is ABC Car Services. There we go. Then you can change the alignment over here as well on the properties panel, center. Then if you want to change the size, something like 18, there you go. That's how easy it is. Now since this is just a splash screen, now by the way, for those who are not familiar with the word splash screen, So if I'm just going to name this one, this area in here, rename splash screen. Now for those who are not familiar with the word splash screen, when we say a splash screen, it's like the loading screen of your application. So this is what the user is going to see by the time the application loads. Okay, that's the splash screen. Now I'm going to duplicate this one. Right click, duplicate. There you go. So I'm going to name this screen as the login or registration. There you go. So under the login or registration screen, I'm not going to remove this one since we will be needing that one. All I need to do is just to add a new set of text. So instead of typing it in here, I can just click on this one, hold my Alt key on my keyboard, click, drag downwards. There you go. So I'm just going to change this one to register mobile number. There you go. Now in a registration, guys, always remember you can register anything for as long as it is a unique identifier of yourself. So mobile number is a unique identifier of yourself. So I'm just going to duplicate this one, drag it downwards in here. I'm going to rename this one as login with Facebook. Again, Facebook accounts are unique identifier of one's self. Now for registration of mobile number, you need to have some sort of a text input area. So I'm just going to type here input. Now by the way, guys, if my discussion is kind of fast, you can just simply pause it a little bit, rewind it a little bit. That's the good thing with video tutorials. You can replay it and replay it until you will be able to understand it. So this is the text input area. So I'm just going to insert a new button. That button. There you go. Place it over here. Drag it like that. I can resize it. Rename the button to something like Facebook. Then change the color of this one on over the properties panel using the blue color. There you go. Facebook text is not very visible, so I can change that one to something like 15. There you go. That's good enough. So again, we're done with this. I can just right click, duplicate, rename this one to something like, what's the next one? Dashboard. So on my dashboard, oops, okay. Now if ever this thing happens to you guys, since all of the elements on your what do you call this, on your dashboard or on your canvas is movable, so if you want to prevent this one from happening, all you need to do is just to right click on this area or on the area or on the element from which you want it to be locked. You can just right click on that one, then lock smartphone. There you go. So you will not be able to have a mistake in dragging that one. Now since this is a dashboard already, we need to have some sort of a menu bar. Now the menu bar here in Balsamiq Mockup is called the app bar. There you go. So it's like a menu from which you can navigate back and forth on the different screens of your mobile app. There. It's just a mock-up. Then next is, since I'm not going to use these anymore, so I'm just going to highlight all of them by boxing it in. Then press delete key on your keyboard. Same thing with this one there. And this one for Facebook, I'm just going to rename this one or change the color to gray. Back to gray. I don't need to be fancy on the first run of my design. That's the tip, guys. You need to be more focused on the details of your application design before you're going to be fancy on everything else. So highlight on Facebook, I'm just going to rename this one as proceed. There. Now once we're done with it, I'm going to insert a map in here. So it's like a mapping application. I'm just going to type map. I'm going to use street map, place it over here. Later on, I'm going to explain to you guys the purpose of this, since it's very important that you need to know the purpose of each one of them. You know why? It's because during the assessment proper, your assessor is going to ask a couple of questions from you guys regarding your design. Why you use this one, why you use that one, why is your screen look like this. So you need to know how to defend it. Okay, so next is I'm going to place on the topmost a text input. Yeah, there. Then just a couple of blocks of text. You can just type block text, or you can just drag this one. Just going to adjust this a little bit downwards. There. Now the main purpose of this, oh wait, I'm not yet done. Just going to place pin there, a map pin. So this will serve as my location. I'm going to change the size to something like medium. Change the color of the icon to red. Then a couple of establishments, building. Actually these are not establishments, but instead these are the branches of the ABC car services. So it's like the main purpose of this screen is some sort of a branch locator, so that the person or the client, which is you, will have an idea on which is the nearest car services shop from your place. Okay, so you can just input your place address in here, then automatically it will be viewed in here. It will be grabbed by the mapping application, and you will be able to see the details of the address of the nearest branches. Okay, then you can click proceed, something like that. Okay, the next is we are going to duplicate this one again. Duplicate there. So after the dashboard, we are going to deal with the car selector panel. So since we are not going to need all of these, so I'm just going to highlight all of them there. Press delete on my keyboard again. Same thing with these icons right here. I'm going to insert the text. Let me make this one fast, okay? Next is we are going to insert a combo box. It's like a drop down box, so you can just type in combo there. So you can select what type of car you're using or you want to be serviced. So it's like vehicle type, or select vehicle. It's okay, select vehicle would be good. The next is I'm just going to duplicate this one. Let's make this one fast again. Now next is we're going to use a drop down key in here. So it's like year selector, so I'm just going to type down. Where's that? Caret down. This one is good. I can change the size to something like the extra small one. There you go. Then I'm going to provide a horizontal line, so you can just type line. H rule would be great, or horizontal rule. You can just place it here. There you go. I'm just going to highlight both of them and copy it downwards. Make this one fast again. By the way guys, for the plate number, we don't need to use the drop down panel for this, but instead we can use just the input box or the text input, since this is the plate number. Okay, so rename this one to something like car selector. There you go. Then afterwards we can duplicate this one again and rename this one as the services panel. So I'm going to remove all of these stuff right here. Change this one to services. Then this time you are going to think of the different services that a car service company is going to have. Okay, so I'm just going to give you an idea. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create some sort of boxed images. I'm just going to type image. By the way, during the assessment proper, the assessor or the assessment center is going to provide you with images. All you need to do is just to edit them, trim them, cut them, crop them, so that it will fit on this particular area. Now, if you'll be having a hard time, then I think it's better if you're just going to use boxes. They're not very much particular with whatever the design that you have. They're pretty much particular on the details that you're going to place on each of the screens that you're going to deal with. Okay, so this one is services. So what are the different services? I'm just going to duplicate this one, make this one fast again. Now let's say we're done with it. So these are some of the services, the basic or essential services that the car service company is going to offer. Then we're going to duplicate this one again. Then this time we're going to use the scheduling. I'm going to rename this one to scheduling / booking. There you go. Again, I'm not going to need all of these, so I'm going to press delete, change this one to scheduling. Since we're going to deal with scheduling and booking, so definitely we are going to deal with two elements. The first one is the calendar and the next one is the clock. So the first one is I'm going to type in calendar. There. This is from which the client or the customer is going to set their schedule with the car service company. And then afterwards, underneath it, I'm going to type in clock. Oh, not clock, but time. I'm going to choose time picker for this. So if it's quite fast, you can just pause it, you can just review it. There you go. That's how it is. Now once we're done with it, right click again, duplicate, then I'm going to change this one to confirmation. There you go. Rename this one to confirmation. There. Remove these elements I don't need. Then for the confirmation booking, let's make this one a little bit quicker. Okay, since we are already familiar with the elements, I'm just going to place it there. I've already created this one a while ago, so these are just ordinary text. This one is block of text. This one is just an ordinary I agree, what they call this, text and a shape. Okay, then you can just continue with proceed. Now once we're done with it again, you can just duplicate it. Then this is the last what they call the screen, the payment. There you go. So we are on the payment screen. Again, rename this one as payment. Then remove these elements right here. Then since we are familiar with whatever is in there, again, let's make this one quicker. Okay, there you go. So I've already created this one a while ago. Again, the elements, we have the text, we have the horizontal rule, another text, we have the text input, we have the button, text, and combo box. Now if you want to add additional enhancements in here, you can just use PayPal, something like that. For the card design, we have MasterCard. You can just place it in there, and a couple of more. There you go. So that's it. That is how you are going to design a mobile app. Okay, so of course this is just a mock-up, so definitely you still need to do this one in Photoshop. But the good thing is it will not take you a lot of time, because in thinking of a particular design, it will take a lot of time. It will eat up your time since we are only going to deal with 6 hours on this one. So since you already have the mock-up, it's easier for you guys to design it in Photoshop. Then once you're done with it in Photoshop, then you can continue with the next core competency. So I will be doing a lot of tutorials for you guys on this one, so you may hit on the subscribe button, or you can just what they call this, get notified, okay, so that I can give you guidance on what are the things that you need to learn, and of course need to prepare during the NC3 Visual Graphic Design, the migrated version, assessment and training. Okay, so thank you so much. Have a good one.